anyone that wants to really break into these barriers that, that divide people and find a way to begin to talk and deal with things is a plus.
What secrets have been hidden behind Stevie Wonder's incredible music career? At 74, is there something the public never knew about him? Recently, his son shared some surprising truths that shed light on Stevie's personal life and struggles. And what does this dark truth reveal about his journey? Before we dive into his later life and family revelations, let's go back to his beginnings to see how he rose to become a superstar.
I got a lot of love from my mother, from my father, from my sisters. My sister and my brothers. I only one sister.
Stevie Wonder, whose real name is Stevie Hardaway Judkins, was born on May 13, 1950, in Saginaw, Michigan. He was born 6 weeks early, and as a result, he suffered from an eye condition called retinopathy of prematurity, which caused him to lose his sight.
Did you have to be born blind?
Well, I believe so. I believe that it was meant to be.
His parents, Calvin Judkins and Lula Mae Hardaway, gave him a loving start in life, and later his mother changed his last name to Morris. So his full name became Stevie Hardaway Morris, though the world knows him simply as Stevie Wonder. Despite being blind from birth, Stevie showed an incredible talent for music. When he was just 4 years old, his family moved to Detroit, Michigan, where he grew up surrounded by music. He would hear gospel songs at his local Baptist church, where he joined the choir and quickly impressed everyone with his singing ability. But singing wasn't all Stevie could do. He was a natural with musical instruments as well. He fell in love with the piano and was already playing beautifully by the time he was 9. Stevie also taught himself to play the harmonica and the drums, becoming a master of both by the time he was only 11.
I didn't even like his singing. What I liked was his harmonica playing because he was so great as a harmonica player.
Stevie's incredible talent caught the attention of Ronnie White, a member of the popular Motown group, The Miracles. White introduced young Stevie to Berry Gordy, the founder of Motown Records. Gordy was amazed by Stevie's talent and immediately signed him to the label, giving him the stage name Little Stevie Wonder. At just 11 years old, Stevie started recording music, and soon his albums showed the world that he was not just a kid with talent, but a real music prodigy. When Stevie was only 12 years old, he released a live album called Little Stevie Wonder, the 12-Year-Old Genius. It was recorded at the famous Regal Theater in Chicago, and the single Fingertips from this album became a huge hit. It reached #1 on both the R&B and pop charts, making Stevie the youngest solo artist ever to top the Billboard Hot 100. This was just the beginning of Stevie's long journey in the music world. Stevie's popularity kept growing, with hit songs coming one after another. He released Uptight, Everything's Alright,
When it's all right, my clothes on you, outside, because
a lively song full of energy that he wrote himself. Stevie played several instruments on the track, including the piano, organ, harmonica, and drums, showing his wide range of talents. His unique sound and style were different from other artists, and people quickly recognized him as a force in the music industry. Stevie Wonder's rise at Motown Records was like a dream come true. He was surrounded by some of the biggest names in music, like Marvin Gaye and Smokey Robinson. Motown was more than just a record label. It was a place that helped young musicians grow and become stars. Stevie, who joined Motown as a young boy, found himself in a perfect environment to learn and improve his skills. The people around him were talented, and they encouraged him every step of the way.
Most of the music was played by Stevie. He played the drums, he played the Moog bass, he played the clavinet parts.
However, Stevie had a strange legal battle with his former lawyer, who had already passed away. The story starts when Stevie Wonder was young, new in the music business, and not making much money, even though he was already very talented. Back then, Stevie was working with Motown Records, which didn't pay him very well at first. In 1971, Stevie hired a lawyer named Johannan Vigoda to help him get better pay and protect his rights. Now, Vigoda was known for being a bit odd. He had some very strange habits. For example, he liked to dress in old clothes and would wander around Venice Beach, looking like he didn't have a home. He also had a habit of carrying important legal papers in old beat-up airline bags and would chew sunflower seeds all the time. People in the music industry used to joke that if Stevie Wonder could actually see his lawyer, he might have thought twice before hiring him. But despite all of these odd behaviors, Vigoda was very smart and tough as a lawyer. For nearly 40 years, Vigoda helped Stevie with his legal issues, and as part of his payment, he received a 6% share of Stevie's earnings. This means that for every dollar Stevie earned, Vigoda would get 6 cents. It sounds small, but when you're talking about millions of dollars, it adds up to a lot of money. However, there was something very strange hidden in their agreement. The deal didn't end when Vigoda died. Instead, Stevie would still be responsible for paying 6% of his earnings, not just to Vigoda, but also to Vigoda's family, even after the lawyer passed away. Stevie Wonder later said he had no idea about this part of the contract. Being blind, Stevie couldn't read the contract himself, so he relied on Vigoda to read it out loud to him. There were witnesses present, but there's a chance Vigoda might have skipped over the parts he didn't want Stevie to understand or use confusing legal language that would make it hard to catch. As a result, Stevie might have unknowingly agreed to keep paying even after Vigoda's death. After Vigoda passed away in 2011, Stevie kept making payments for about 20 months. But after that, he stopped. That's when Vigoda's widow, his wife, took legal action and demanded a huge sum of money, claiming Stevie now owed them $7 million. She argued that the contract required Stevie to continue making payments even though her husband was no longer alive. Stevie Wonder and Vigoda's widow settled the case outside of court. The exact details of their agreement are private, so we don't know exactly how much Stevie had to pay or if he has to keep paying Vigoda's family. Blood might be thicker than water, but sometimes family can turn against you in the worst way. In 2012, Stevie Wonder learned this firsthand. His cousin, Alpha Walker, tried to extort him, to get money from him by force. Walker, along with his girlfriend, Tamara Diaz, wanted Stevie to pay them millions of dollars, or they would release a video to the public that could hurt his reputation. Walker didn't start with a small demand. He wanted a staggering $10 million at first. When Stevie didn't respond, he lowered the demand to $5 million. And when that still didn't work, he went down to $500,000. But even with these huge demands, Stevie wasn't budging. Stevie wasn't about to give in to Walker's threats. So what was in this video? According to reports, the video was basically an 80-minute rant where Walker criticized and blamed Stevie for many things. In it, Walker showed the home of Stevie's late mother, which was in poor condition, and he even included footage of Stevie's young son. Walker seemed to think that his struggles in life were somehow Stevie's fault, and he wanted to get back at him for it. He accused Stevie of all kinds of things, including being a slumlord, a landlord who doesn't care for their properties, and even said disturbing things about Stevie's family life. But Stevie wasn't about to pay up. Instead, law enforcement got involved, and a sting operation was set up to catch Walker. Walker went along with the plan and thought he would get his money, but instead he found himself in handcuffs. He and his girlfriend were arrested and taken to court. In court, Walker tried to defend himself by saying he had a right to make and sell the video. He claimed that since he made the video, he should be allowed to share it. However, this argument didn't work at all. In the end, Walker and Diaz pleaded no contest, meaning they didn't fight the charges against them. For his crime, Walker was sentenced to 292 days in jail, along with probation and mandatory counseling. Diaz, his girlfriend, also received the same punishment. After this ordeal, Stevie Wonder was able to move on, knowing he had not given in to the unfair demands of his own cousin.
Most of the music was played by Stevie. He played the drums, he played the Moog bass, he played the clavinet parts.
Now back to his musical career. As Stevie grew older, his voice changed from a high soprano to a deeper tenor. This change affected his next few singles, and they weren't as successful as his earlier songs. But Stevie didn't let that stop him. He kept working on his craft, learning, and experimenting. His music isn't just fun to listen to. It also dives deep into important topics and emotions, touching people in many different ways. His talent is so impressive because he has the ability to create music that feels fresh and exciting, blending different styles and sounds to make something unique. Stevie doesn't just make music. He tells stories, shares feelings, and inspires people with his songs. One of Stevie's most famous albums, Inner Visions, released in 1973, really shows off his musical genius. Each song on the album flows smoothly into the next, making it feel like one big, powerful story. This album includes songs like Superstition and You Are the Sunshine of My Life, which became huge hits.
Oh, you are the sunshine of my life.
Did you know Stevie Wonder didn't originally write Superstition for himself? This hit song, which became a big part of his career, was actually meant for someone else. But thanks to some twists and turns, it ended up on Stevie's 1972 album, as earlier mentioned. The story of Superstition is a bit magical. Stevie came up with the main beat while playing the drums, and it all came together so quickly, like it was meant to be. The sound of the song, especially with the special instrument called the clavinet, was unique. The clavinet is similar to an electric piano, but has a sharp, funky sound that made Superstition unforgettable. Music expert Tom Moon explained that hearing the clavinet in Superstition was groundbreaking at the time. It became an instrument Stevie was known for and helped create that funky sound we hear in the song. Even though Superstition sounds mysterious and supernatural, the lyrics tell a different story. Stevie wanted to express his doubts about superstitions. He believed that when people believe in things they don't fully understand, it often leads to unnecessary fear and suffering. In one line he sings, "When you believe in things you don't understand, then you suffer," which captures his message about avoiding superstitious thinking.
You believe in things that you don't understand.
Originally, Stevie wrote this song for his friend Jeff Beck, a famous guitarist from the 1970s. They were friends, and Stevie thought Jeff could make the song shine in his own way. But when Berry Gordy heard the song, he immediately knew it was too special for anyone else to sing. Gordy convinced Stevie to record it himself, and Stevie agreed. This decision turned out to be a fantastic one, as Superstition became a major hit and is now one of Stevie's most famous songs. The crash that almost killed him. But Stevie's life took a dark turn not long after Talking Book was released. Just a year later, in 1973, he was almost killed in a serious car accident. Stevie was riding with his cousin on a highway in North Carolina when a truck carrying wood hit their car from behind. Stevie's head hit the car's dashboard hard, causing a serious skull injury. He fell into a coma. Ira Tucker, a close friend, visited Stevie in the hospital and was shocked. Stevie's head was extremely swollen from the injury, and he looked unrecognizable. No one could get through to him, and everyone worried about his chances. Tucker knew Stevie loved music, so he thought maybe music could reach him in some way. He started singing Higher Ground, one of Stevie's new songs from his Inner Visions album. At first, Stevie didn't react, but after a while, he showed small signs of responding. After a week, Stevie finally woke up from his coma. Just 2 weeks later, he was already joking and entertaining the hospital staff with his lively personality. He didn't let the accident keep him down, showing his strong spirit and love for life. Stevie went on to continue making amazing music.
Keep on turning, 'cause it won't be too long.
In songs like Higher Ground and Living for the City, Stevie used soul, funk, and jazz styles to talk about difficult topics. He blended traditional instruments like drums and guitars with electronic sounds, which was pretty new and exciting at the time. His mix of instruments and styles was bold, proving he was a true musical trailblazer. By doing this, Stevie showed he could take risks and be creative, helping people see music as more than just entertainment, but as a way to send powerful messages. The next year, Stevie released another incredible album called Fulfillingness's First Finale. This album was more personal, with songs that felt deeper and more emotional. Boogie on Reggae Woman and They Won't Go When I Go showed a new side of Stevie, one that was thoughtful and mature. His songwriting had grown, and his music was full of heart.
Unclean minds mislead the pure, the innocent believe for sure.
Every note, every word seemed to come straight from Stevie's soul. This album showed his dedication to growing as an artist and proved that he was always trying to reach new heights in his music. Stevie continued to push boundaries with Songs in the Key of Life, an album that is still seen as a landmark in music history. This album is full of different styles and themes, from the upbeat horns of Sir Duke to the gentle beauty of Isn't She Lovely. Stevie's talent and imagination seemed endless. He wasn't just making music for his time, he was creating songs that would inspire artists and listeners for generations. His early use of synthesizers, drum machines, and other electronic instruments paved the way for future musicians to explore new sounds in genres like funk, soul, rock, and pop. For many years, rumors have circulated about Stevie Wonder and his daughter, Aisha Morris. Some people believe that Stevie and Aisha were distant, or that Stevie was not always present in her life. As Aisha grew older and pursued her own path in music, these rumors only got stronger. Despite the gossip, Aisha has been close to her father and has even worked with him on several projects, such as his 2005 album, A Time to Love. Her music is often soulful, with a blend of R&B and jazz, which is known as the Wonder family sound. Recently, Aisha spoke openly in a YouTube video to clear up misunderstandings about her relationship with her famous father. Now 47, she shared what it was like to grow up as Stevie Wonder's daughter. Aisha explained that she felt a lot of pressure to live up to her father's legacy and that maintaining a private life was hard due to Stevie's fame. Despite these challenges, she has followed in his footsteps as a musician, songwriter, and producer. Like her father, she also uses her music to speak about social and political issues. In the interview, Aisha shared that music has been a special way for her to stay connected to her father, even during difficult times. She also confirmed that Stevie Wonder is her father, addressing the public rumors once and for all. This revelation received mixed reactions from fans and the media. Many praised Stevie and Aisha for being honest about their relationship, highlighting Stevie's long-standing reputation as a family man. Some people admired Aisha for bravely sharing her story, viewing it as an act of empowerment. However, the news also sparked some controversy. Critics pointed fingers at Stevie, accusing him of irresponsible behavior due to his relationships with several women. Others questioned Aisha's motives, suggesting she might be speaking out now for attention or financial reasons. Despite these negative comments, most people responded with warmth and respect for both Stevie and Aisha. Many fans pointed out Stevie's lasting influence on music and his commitment to social justice, which have made him a beloved figure worldwide.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Stevie Wonder took a brave stand against South Africa's racist apartheid system. Apartheid was a set of laws that kept black people separated and mistreated, denying them basic rights. Wonder felt deeply against this injustice. On Valentine's Day that year, he made a bold statement by going to the South African embassy in Washington, D.C. He arrived in a limousine wearing a fur coat with a sign around his neck that said, "Free South Africa." Wonder joined 47 others who wanted to bring attention to the cruelty of apartheid, and he didn't mind getting arrested. He even called himself a conscientious criminal, meaning he was willing to be seen as a troublemaker for a good cause. That same year, Wonder won an Oscar for his famous song, I Just Called to Say I Love You. When he accepted the award, he dedicated it to Nelson Mandela, a leader in South Africa who was in prison for fighting against apartheid. This made Wonder even more popular with people who supported freedom and equality. But South Africa's government was not happy. They banned his music in the country, hoping to silence him. But Wonder was not discouraged. Instead, on his 35th birthday, he went to the United Nations, where he once again spoke against apartheid and even performed I Just Called to Say I Love You. In that performance, he added Mandela's name to the song's lyrics, showing his deep respect for Mandela's courage. Years later, when Wonder turned 55, he received a special phone call from Nelson Mandela himself. This call meant a lot to Wonder because it came from someone he admired so much. Mandela made a touching offer. He wanted to help name Wonder's newborn child. Mandela suggested two names, though one was a bit hard for them to pronounce. Wonder and his wife chose the name Mandla, a meaningful tribute to Mandela and their shared hope for freedom and justice.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
His influence on music. Wonder's song Happy Birthday also has a powerful story behind it. It might sound like a regular birthday song, but it has a much deeper meaning. Wonder wrote it to celebrate Martin Luther King Jr., the famous civil rights leader who fought for equal rights in America. After King was killed, Wonder wanted the country to remember him by creating a national holiday in King's honor. In the 10 years following King's death, people had tried to get this holiday recognized, but they kept failing. Wonder released Happy Birthday to help convince people that Martin Luther King Jr. deserved a special day. The song became very popular, but Wonder didn't stop there.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
In 1982, he worked with Coretta Scott King, Dr. King's widow, to collect 6 million signatures on a petition asking Congress to make the holiday official. Despite the support, not everyone agreed. Some politicians tried to block the holiday, but the effort finally succeeded. In 1983, President Ronald Reagan signed the bill, and Martin Luther King Jr. Day became a national holiday 3 years later. Thanks to Wonder's persistence, Americans now remember Dr. King's impact every year. Stevie Wonder received more recognition for his creativity and talent. He is especially celebrated for winning 3 consecutive Grammy Awards for Album of the Year. This record has not been matched by any other artist. In 1973, he won the award for Inner Visions, an album that tackled issues of social awareness, with popular songs like Higher Ground and Living for the City. Wonder's influence went beyond these awards. Throughout his career, he has won a total of 25 Grammy Awards, the most for any male solo artist. He won in various categories, including Best Male R&B Vocal Performance and Best R&B Song. This consistent success helped Wonder become one of the most respected artists of his time. Beyond his Grammy wins, Wonder changed the music industry in many ways. He was one of the first artists to use synthesizers and electronic instruments in R&B music, which influenced the sound of modern R&B and inspired future musicians.